Anthony Snyder with Selling Heroes with my wife Sharon, and here we have the estimable author, David
Gerrold.
Gerrold. Oh.
Yeah, that's right. And you're telling me you know who I am.
I know who this guy is.
You're not going to make it as my blackmailer either.
No. So it's now, Mr. Gerrold was. He's known for being. You were in school at the time.
Yeah.
A big sci-fi fan.
Yeah.
And you saw Star Trek, and you're like, "Oh my God."
I hope they don't screw it up.
I want to be part of that. And you wrote a spec script called The Trouble with Tribbles.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
And you submitted it, and you did you get through to Gene Roddenberry? And
no, Gene was on vacation. I sold it to Gene L. Kuhn, who was really running the show during the second season.
Yeah, he was what we call the show runner.
Yeah, and he was doing a great job, and he's a great guy, and I still miss him today because he knew producing like nobody's business.
No, he doesn't get the credit.
No, he does
not. In the Star
not.
Trek lore, it's just like, he doesn't really exist in the Star Trek lore, and he was running the show.
Yeah.
There's this rumor about that Roddenberry went on vacation to try to save his marriage because he was messing or whatever, and he didn't want to do a humor-themed episode.
Gene Roddenberry wasn't known for his sense of humor.
Okay. And Mr. Kuhn and you got that made.
Well, the show wasn't supposed to be that funny. It just was supposed to be a little whimsical. But as the script developed, people kept saying, here's a joke, and here's a joke, and here's a joke. And they got to the sound stages, and they started, we had some great directors, Mark Daniels, who did all the Lucy shows.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. You're at the Desilu Studios. Yeah. Mark Daniels, who is from the Desilu Studios and did I Love Lucy episodes, was the director of that episode. So you had a great humor guy.
He didn't direct Tribbles. Actually, it was Joe Pevney. But it turned out that everybody was having just so much fun with it that it turned into an out-and-out comedy, which surprised me because the night it was aired, and I had seen them shooting stuff, but you don't know how it all fits together, right? And the night it's aired, I looked at it and said, wow, I knew the script was well structured, but I didn't realize it was going to be that funny. And I mean, there were things that Shatner did and Nimoy did that I just, oh, yeah, of course. And they
improvised some stuff.
They didn't improvise as much as they found nuance, I would say it that way, because you don't ad-lib.
Well, they did well with the humor where they didn't have a chance before.
Oh, well, Bill has been waiting to prove he could do humor for years.
Well, we saw his speech upstairs yesterday, and the man's full of humor. That's all he's about.
Bill is a workaholic, and the thing is, on the set, he was very playful, and he was always clowning around and having, and the cast and crew joked around a lot, and but when the camera started rolling, Bill was a perfect workaholic. I cannot say how much I admire him. He was just great.
Yeah, I if you ask 9 out of 10 people what their favorite episode is, they're going to say The Trouble with Tribbles. So you sneak that past.
I've got to do something about that 10th person.
You're right.
Yeah. No, I'm joking.
They haven't watched it. They just haven't seen it yet.
That 10th person was Harlan Ellison. He thinks
City on the Edge of Forever was amazing. And Balance of Terror was amazing. And Mirror Mirror was amazing.
And Doomsday Machine and Journey to Babel and Amok Time. And you'll notice almost all of those are written by science fiction writers.
Right.
So...
because there was a desert of opportunity for them at the time, and this was their vehicle.
Harlan had talked to Gene and said, hire science fiction writers. They won't screw it up.
Right? So this was the initial... Where did you get the idea for an actual tribble? Because I want to show you this. Look at this.
Oh, I know where this came from.
This I got at the first Star Trek convention I ever went to in 1974.
My company was making and selling these. This is, it came home.
So I was 10 years old when I got this because I was dressed like Spock, and I'm 55 now. So that was.
I'm trying to remember. There were a lot of kids dressed like Spock in 19. When was that?
Yeah, 74. 75.
I don't remember that far back. I don't even remember breakfast anymore.
So I bought a bunch of tribbles at a Star Trek convention, and I was cosplayed as Spock, and my little friend was cosplayed as Kirk, and
that was fun.
It's a fun memory I have. Yeah. You made these.
Yeah, my company made those. We had a little company.
And then I have this that I bought from a prop company. Yeah, it's a fake tribble.
Yeah, I do like redheads, but that's not going to work.
This is an actual.
Oh, it's got, it's
I was
got
doing
wheels
my
on the
Trump
bottom.
imitation.
Yeah.
So this one was used in the Deep Space Nine episode.
Really?
Where they go back in time to your episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a prop for the.
How
for that
fun.
one. Yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Now, where did you get the idea for tribbles? In general?
Rabbits in Australia. I was always fascinated by the interrelationships of animals and everything in their environment. And the rabbits in Australia, some idiot Englishman thought Australia needed bunnies, and so he introduced 6 rabbits and turned them loose and forgot there's no foxes in Australia. So within a few years, they were up to here in rabbits. And even today, they still have a problem. They have a rabbit-proof fence across half the continent, and they have rabbit roundups from time to time. The pictures are scary. So Australia is a very interesting continent. So almost everything on that continent will kill you, except the lifeguards.
That's cool. So the trouble with tribbles was you wrote the book.
Yeah.
I've read some of that, and I was very impressed with your philosophy of life in there, and how to, go about, seeing your goal and going for it. And you did, and you made a career for yourself. And that's a very impressive thing to do, doing what you love for a living. You never work a day in your life, right?
Well, let me say it this way. Science fiction writer gets to go anywhere in the universe, anytime, any place, the impossible as well as the possible, everywhere. We are literary time lords, so it's the best job in the world because we get to have adventures. We get to create interesting challenges and then solve them. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
sharing with us today.
Thank you very much. I love your outfit.
I love what's in it.
Well, see, I knew Grace Lee Whitney quite well, and I just thought she's one of the best people, one of the nicest women I've ever met, and you just recreated her for me for a few minutes, so thank you.
Thank you. I'm so happy.
Yeah, I miss her too. So, thank you.
Thank you.
This is Anthony Snyder and Sharon Snyder for Selling Heroes.
Bye, everybody.